be honest, the reason, about moving into an eco house, it never entered my head at all. It was just available, we were told about it and we came to look at it.
This is the first house we actually got in to have a look at, and we're so impressed. Unfortunately, this one was reserved.
I think I saw Diane's and the first one built, and I decided from there I wanted one of these. But I did like it when I first moved in.
This house, because it's very good for us in terms of living and getting everywhere around. There was a lot of good points why we select this house than other houses. First of all, there was the eco-friendly house, who has the solar panels, can get a hot water, a PV panels, which is you reduce your energy bills, and obviously the new technology what's being used when they build a house gives you a house more efficient to keep your house warm in the winter and cool in the summer.
The view. The view is...
The openness,
Yeah.
the height, the space you've got.
Yeah, it's...
Yeah.
Yeah, we're... it hit us when we walked in, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd not thought about it one iota about, actually living in the eco house.
Yeah.
It was because we came here that has made me think differently. Just general everyday things, washing the dishes. Don't wash 3 or 4 dishes. Wait while you've got a bowl full to wash. Trying to save water. What can you do with the water when you've finished with it? Well, it'll water the plants. It's good. It just makes you think, and it's been fantastic. And I wouldn't swap this house for the world, trust me. And neither would my grandson. If he was here, he'd tell you. And I just think they look absolutely fantastic. And I think at first they generated a lot of interest. People were just coming up the road to have a look at the houses. They look like something that you'd expect in Sweden or somewhere else. Certainly not in Rotherham. I think they look absolutely fantastic. And I love that they've used natural materials.
The first thing that attracted me to this was obviously because they were a new build, and it were all this eco housing. Everything was supposed to be cheaper and obviously good for the environment and things like that. I wouldn't say that's how I found it now I live here. I wouldn't say I'm any better off than living in a terraced. That sounds really bad, but the bills are higher, everything's higher, to be fair. And it's just strange. The upstairs gets so hot that you can't cope, and then downstairs is just constantly freezing.
All the structure of the house is I really like it. Is the external walls is covered by the cider wood, and which gives you like a more closure with the nature if it's made by wood rather than the brick. But it's very, very quiet. It's very, very close to, to the surroundings, schools and shopping and everything. But it's very quiet here in terms of the traffic, and the area is very nice. There's no pollution. The overall, there's advantage and advantages. There is more advantages to stay here and living here.
First and foremost, we were drawn to it by the looks of it outside. Also, we like the look of the housing estate.
I think it looks really nice as a street.
It looks welcoming.
It does. With eco garden and everything, it's absolutely brilliant.
The neighbours are really friendly. You make friends really easily on here. I'd not move from this street now.
Now, if it were the right way around one on this street, then we would, yeah. The idea of an eco home, I think, is really, really good if it works. But I don't see how this works. They look beautiful, they really do look nice, but in practicality it just doesn't work. I've given up. I don't try and control it anymore. I don't. The bills come, I pay them the best I can. I try and not have the heating on at all if I don't need it. And the water, literally, we just have the water on for like half an hour a day, and just for one bath, and everybody else uses the shower, because it's just not cost effective otherwise.
Throwing things away, it just seems to be that world. Ditch it, buy a new one, throw things away. It's got to come to an end. People have to be re-educated. I think the best people to do the re-education of people, firstly, is the people who build the houses and who the houses belong to. As we've said, give us a pack, tell us how important it is and what the advantages of living in an eco house are. I think suppliers of white goods should have labels telling you things that are, eco-friendly, not just wait while you have to ask. The suppliers are Empower, the power generators. We shouldn't really have to ring them up. They should, give us the information, because that way probably hammer home how important these things are.
It is a green lifestyle, yeah. As I said, the hot water, which generate the solar panels, give you the hot water in the summer days, and as the PV panels gives you the electricity, which obviously you don't have to pay for the electric while the PV panels are on, and there is no electric to use your house appliances. So obviously you balance it with the house, so you're just working together, I would say. Where I try to be ecological in terms of the sortation of the rubbish, like plastic, the cardboard, metal, cans and glass. So I try to be as close as eco-friendly and green.
You're doing a bit for the environment. I suppose if every house built as now, really this should be built into it. Automatic, there should be no ifs or buts about it. And I mean, if there were 10,000 houses, putting electric back in the grid, it makes a little bit of difference.
We've got an allotment with down over the road. We try to put bottles in right containers and green bins for recycling garden waste.
I've tried to improve all the time. As I said, I've gone down from 10 units a day to 5 units a day. We try to shut doors, don't leave lights on, don't leave things on standby. It's just ways, that you can help yourself. I don't know whether that was age or whatever, but I use the green bin and things like that. But then when I got this, I was like, right, we will. You do try and change because you've got an eco home. You try and do everything different. But no, I'd say I'm back to square one again now.
The PV panels obviously generate electric. So during the day, if it's a normal day, a sunny day, I can use my telly, I can use my washing machine, I can use my dishwasher, and this gives me a free energy.
I look for the readings, especially as soon as I see it's a sunny day. And the first thing I do, I look at the readings, I think, right, my washer's going in.
We get free electricity during the day because we've got these photovoltaic panels on the roof. I've heard that name a few times, I can just about remember that. And that they generate electricity. If you don't use the electricity, the good thing is that it then goes back down to the national grid. And we've also got water panels on the roof. And in the winter, I wouldn't say that the water got hot enough for you to bathe in it, but it's certainly hot enough to be able to wash the dishes in and things like that. So you haven't always got to have your hot water on. Here's the hub of the whole thing. In here we've got the boiler, which I've been told is split into 3. Something's for the gas, something's for the water, etc. And I understand one of these is very, very important because when the water is being warmed by the tiles on the roof, one of these stops the cold water going back into it, so it just keeps it at a nice constant temperature. And we actually dry the bath towels in here because it's free. and they dry very quickly. And this, we also have the meter. Show you the meter. We plugged it into here. Here it is. And this is the one that they come and check from Hallam University. I'm not going to touch it because these all, I know they take lots of different readings using these buttons, and it tells you how the tiles on the roof are performing, so it's very important.
The lights have blown. They're supposed to be Eco light bulbs that we have. I have now spent 2.5 years trying to get a new light bulb for my kitchen and my downstairs, which cost me £8 something to get, which you can only get from this one place that now has told me that they don't do them anymore. So I have now resorted to taking out the light fittings and putting back in normal light fittings for normal eco light bulbs that I can now purchase for £1 from the pound shop. The things downstairs that are obviously there to make this efficient, this home, I just keep away from because it petrifies me just to look in there.
The next controller obviously is PV panels. So there's the wireless data box with the LCD screen, where you can see the current status of the PV panels. At the moment is 47 watts generated, which is obviously very, very low. So it's like you can turn one bulb and 40 watts, and that's give you free energy, 40 watts, because you generate actually 47. So anything lower than 47 is staying in your house, so which is free. Anything above the 47 watts is you pay from. On top of this, what I said already, the controller gives you the total amount, how many kilowatts you've generated through the day. The average is between 4 and 5 kilowatts. That's the total for a day, and then obviously there's good different screens where you can get into and go through the monthly and yearly generation of the energy.
This is the TARDIS. This is what we get. This is where we get all our water from. Because it's just a big machine, it just looks like the TARDIS from Doctor Who. Diane's grandson named it for us. He calls this the TARDIS as well. We can't really use our lights because once the bulbs have gone, we can't find the actual bulb for them. We take the bulb into a store, like Wilkinson's or any bulb shop, and they say they don't sell these bulbs, you'd have to go onto the internet and look it up. So, and because South Yorkshire Housing provides us with bulbs, they send them out every year.
Yeah, but they don't
They don't send the right ones. They send completely different light bulbs.
Barenet ones.
Yeah, they send barenet ones.
The next door neighbor, he when he moves into the house, he registered for the feed-in tariff within the time limit. Obviously, he can get all benefits from there. In terms of the feed-in tariff, he can get all the money from the feed-in tariff. However, me, I can't, and I try to explain to the person, the off-gen people who work in the office. So I've got a meter downstairs who measure the electric generated to the grid, the pure energy, but I can't get it. Well, the PV panels just generated for free. So anything what I can get from the PV panels, I try to use in terms of the usage electric appliances at home during the day. But if I'm not here, obviously the all electric going to the grid.
It's not easy. I say it took me 6 months. And of course it were backdated from the day I started it. So I didn't lose anything, but it's the amount of work that you had to put in, dealing with off-gen and what have you. And of course, it hit off-gen because all of a sudden when the government said, right, we'll pay you for the kilowatts you're generating, everybody, or a lot of people were into it, and off-gen got overloaded. So, of course, it took 6 months, but there is some electric companies out there do it for you. But I mean, I say, I were at the front end of the the scale. So I did it. I've got my file, and you know, it's all right.
If it hadn't been for you, I wouldn't have been able
No,
to
you
have
wouldn't have
done
been
it.
able to have done it.
I wouldn't have been able to have
No.
tackled it.
No.
Because the amount of paper were phenomenal, really.
If I've got any complaints at all, that's the one that, you know, it would have been, the builders did explain a few things, that we got these tiles on the roof for the water and the electricity. We had a very, very technical pack left us, which, to be honest, I haven't looked at. And that would be my one suggestion to anybody. Please give information. When we moved in, nobody actually explained that if you carry out tasks during the day, like washing, ironing, that the electricity was actually free.
There weren't no information when we moved in. They were supposed to be having a meeting with all tenants to give us some information, but they never did. So I do think that if somebody, perhaps when you first moved in, came and showed you what to do and how to use them and to get the best from them, then I think that'd be a great help.
Because I found all this out, as other people have moved into the street, I've been trying to impart that knowledge to them, and they'd got no idea, so it's still going on. Yeah, a handbook would be absolutely brilliant. Yes, I've been, as I said, talking to people as they move in, explaining to them the benefits, because otherwise what's the point of building it?
There's a switch downstairs and it was switched off, and we got told by Diane across the road that switch needs to be switched on for for our solar panels to work.
Before I moved into the house, next door neighbor, he encouraged me with a lot of details. How good is this house? How important is the features for your new house? Obviously, I've been introduced with the solar panels and the PV panels, how good they are, how efficient they are. I'm a person who likes 20 degrees, 21 degrees at home to keep the warm home, and then this is enough for me. Some people likes 25, so obviously it keeps my bills low, and then natural resources are just using what I need, not what I wanted, because it's cheap energy. The downstairs is much colder in the winter. I would say sometimes it's 6 degrees difference between first floor and ground floor, which you can feel. Honestly, even if you have a jumper on you or the t-shirt, you can feel the difference between stairs.
I've never known it once, the temperature in this house be the same. The kitchen is absolutely roasting. Then you'll come in here and it'll be slightly cooler. And then the second that you get halfway down the stairs, it's like you just want to get your thermals on. So the temperature-wise, and when I contacted the housing and explained this to the housing, he just says, he went downstairs and he says, well, it's 18 degrees. He says, and that's fine. And I says, yeah, but you're studying, you've just coming out of the cold, you've got a big coat on. You know, and then if you go upstairs, you obviously get used to the temperature upstairs. So then when you come downstairs, it's a big drop in difference. So you just never want to go downstairs.
We was 100 yards off the beach.
It was really nice.
Really nice. Big house.
Nothing wrong with the property at all. Although I think you can imagine in winter
It took
when
some,
you get-
it took some
took a
heating.
lot of heating.
We were expecting it to be a bit cheaper than what we were usually paying.
But it hasn't worked out like that. It's worked out, I think it's worked out about £5 dearer a week on gas and electric, both, than what we used to pay. So it has worked out dearer.
We're never in either. We're always out. When my sister's at school, we usually go up to my great grandma's, or we go to town or something. We don't usually come back until at least 5 o'clock, and electric's usually gone when we come back.
There's no doors to shut the stairs off, so eating it in winter you just can't do because it's all going downstairs. So you can't shut no doors at all. So if we want to put heater on, we'd have to sit in the kitchen and shut
We've
the door.
done that numerous times. We've actually taken the television into the kitchen.
Because even if you put heating on, an heater, it doesn't make no difference. You'd have to sit in the kitchen where you could close the door. So then heat once I skate downstairs and
And at winter, my little sister,
through
because it's that cold, she can't sleep on her own.
This is the house with some people saying is upside down. The living area, which is the living room, and the kitchen is on the first floor, and the sleeping area, which is 3 bedrooms, are on the ground floor. It is slightly different. However, I've found a lot of benefits from the most place where you're staying during the day is the living area and the kitchen. So when you're staying upstairs, there is a much warmer here, so you don't have to heat your house much as you've been staying on the ground floor, and keep your ground floor more warm than the top floor.
The lady across the road, I think she's quite happy, but she lives in she lives normal way around. Yeah, if I was single and I was on me, or just you and your partner and you had no kiddies, then I suppose, yeah, it'd be fine. It'd be alright. But how many people are like that nowadays? I can't see where the benefit comes from of flipping you up. The bedrooms just seem smaller. They're just silly. The weird shapes, really tiny little bedrooms.
I think they've designed it just to test it and see how it goes. See if people like living this way up.
I've had 8 strokes, and then it's difficult going shopping upstairs because my left arm is weak. So I have to carry it shopping upstairs. I have to carry it washing downstairs and then carry it back upstairs. We have to take bin out downstairs and then back upstairs. It's just a nightmare. Really is a nightmare.
In these big spaces, you could have more storage spaces. But
I think they've been designed by a man.
That was a compare.
It doesn't.
It doesn't,
Not really.
Since moving, we've never ever given Teesside a second thought.
What's the point in building something so nice to look at and so good if you can't repair them and you can't keep the upkeep to it?
it just looks good. We don't think it's practical at all. We don't see the point.
I am absolutely loving living at Henley Way. I've enjoyed every day living in this house. It really is. It's proved some challenges. It's made me think again about how I do things.